At the beginning of the episode, we see a beautiful village on top of the mountains with many beautiful houses and buildings. Actually, this is a sect called the Tang sect. Then, outside the sect in the forest, we see a young man running away from some elders. The elders try to catch and attack him, but the young man dodges all attacks skillfully, which surprises the elders because they are very powerful, and it's nearly impossible to avoid their attacks. The young man's name is Tongshin. While running, he comes across a cliff. Tongshin had secretly learned a forbidden technique inside the sect library, which was against the rules. Because of this, he was sentenced to death. Tongshin was firm in his principles and knew the punishment was death, so he decided to commit suicide himself. He also tells them that he hasn't told anyone else about the secret technique and that all the techniques are in his room. Then he takes out the most dangerous weapon of the technique and dedicates it to the sect leader. After that, he removes all his clothes because he wants to return everything he took from the sect. Then, he jumps down the cliff. The sect leader tries to save him, but Tongshin is determined and dies by falling into the abyss. After his death, his soul crosses different worlds and reaches a parallel universe, where he is reborn as a newborn baby named Tongshin. He remembers everything from his previous life, including all the techniques. From childhood, he practices these techniques on the mountain. This world has a continent called Donghua. Everyone here activates a special ability at the age of 6 called the Spirit Soul. After obtaining the Spirit Soul, people get different types of abilities. One day, while returning after practicing techniques outside, he learns that a Spirit Master is coming to their village to awaken the new children's abilities this year. The Spirit Master's name is Su Yudao, a rank 26 Spirit Grandmaster. In this world, the cult is divided into ranks from 1 to 100. Ranks 1 to 10 are called trainees, 10 to 20 are Spirit Masters, 21 to 30 Spirit Grandmasters, 31 to 40 Spirit Elders, and so on, according to their rank. To awaken the children's abilities. The village chief gathers all the kids in a building where the Spirit Master awakens their abilities one by one. Tongshin is also there to awaken his ability. Before awakening the abilities, Tongshin shows his power and summons a wolf-like spirit, which excites all the kids. Then children come forward one by one to awaken their spirit souls. The first child's spirit soul is a sickle tooth, a tool-type spirit soul. The Spirit Master tells him that this won't be very useful as a weapon, but people with this type of spirit soul are very good at agriculture or farming. Then the Spirit Master checks his soul bar, an indicator to train spirit souls. His soul bar is 0, meaning he cannot train his spirit soul and will live his life as a normal person. The Spirit Master checks more kids, mostly farming ability types. Then a girl comes forward with a spirit soul of blue silvergrass, which is a very common type with no special abilities. This spirit soul is considered the weakest. Then comes the main character, Tongshin. He extends his right hand and concentrates, and blue silvergrass appears from it. But at the same time, something appears in his left hand too, a hammer, which he hides silently. The Spirit Master checks Tongshin's soul bar, which is at level 10, a very rare condition. Those whose soul bar is level 10 during awakening are called burnt with soul bar, and are very powerful people who go very far in life. The Spirit Master explains that level 10 is the highest soul bar, and Tongshin asks if it's possible to train beyond this. The Master says that to go beyond level 10, one must acquire a spirit ring. Without a spirit ring, no matter how much one trains, they cannot reach level 11. Tongshin asks if the Master has 2 spirit rings, as the Master had needed one for level 10 and one for level 20. Being rank 26. Spirit rings give users special powers according to their spirit souls. After this, the Spirit Master leaves the hall. Then, the village chief visits Tongshin's home and tells Tongshin's father, Tang Hao, about his son's abilities and calls Tongshin a genius. Tang Hao asks about his son's spirit soul and learns it's blue silvergrass, which surprises him because he expected his son's spirit soul to be clear sky hammer. This confusion will be explained later. The village chief wants Tongshin to train in a city academy, but Tang Hao refuses. He believes that keeping such a talented son at home is not right and that the son should get the best training outside. Despite the chief's insistence, Tang Hao refuses and leaves. Tang Hao worries his son will be upset, but Tongshin is content and says they can live like blacksmiths. Tang Hao, feeling sad, expresses disdain for all spirit masters. Tang Hao then asks Tongshin to show his spirit soul. Tongshin shows the blue silvergrass from one hand, which surprises Tang Hao. Then Tongshin reveals another spirit soul, clear sky hammer, from his other hand. This reminds Tang Hao of how years ago he and his wife were running from some people, and his wife sacrificed herself to save her husband and child. Her spirit soul was also blue silvergrass. Seeing his son's double spirit soul, Tang Hao hugs him and advises him always to protect the grass spirit soul with his hammer spirit soul. Tang Hao then begins teaching Tongshin blacksmith techniques, using Tongshin's past life memories to create hidden weapons. The next day, Tang Hao allows Tongshin to go to the city for training, but sets some conditions. Never add any spirit ring to his hammer spirit soul. Never show his hammer spirit soul to anyone. Never reveal his secret of having 2 spirit souls unless his life is in danger. Do not use the hammer spirit soul unless absolutely necessary. Tongshin agrees and sets off. He and the village chief go to the city to enroll in a big school. At the academy gate, a gatekeeper stops them. The chief shows a pass given by the Spirit Master, but the gatekeeper thinks it's fake because it says blue silvergrass but also level 10 soul bar. which is very rare and unlikely for a boy from a small village. An argument breaks out, and the gatekeeper even hits the chief. Tongshin grabs the gatekeeper's hand and throws him down, getting very angry and ready to activate his hidden weapon. But a man arrives and stops the fight. This man is called the Grandmaster by everyone. After stopping the fight, he takes Tongshin inside for admission. On the way, the Grandmaster reveals his identity as the Grandmaster of the Academy. He says if Tongshin wants to learn from him, he can call him teacher. The Grandmaster saw Tongshin's admission pass and says he is very intelligent. He also reveals that in the past 100 years, Tongshin is the third person with 2 spirit souls. Tongshin is shocked and ready to activate his hidden weapon again, worried about his secret being revealed. But the Grandmaster explains how he knew. Through extensive research, he knows there are only 647 people in the world with blue silver grass spirit soul. Only 16 have a soul bar, and none above rank 1. Since the soul bar corresponds to spirit soul quality, blue silver grass cannot have a full soul bar. So the Grandmaster is sure Tongshin has 2 spirit souls. Hearing this, Tongshin realizes the Grandmaster is wise and immediately bows, asking to become his disciple. The Grandmaster accepts him, and they go to meet the principal for admission. The principal finds the blue silver grass spirit soul with full soul bar unusual but admits him after seeing the Grandmaster. Though the Grandmaster is not a teacher, the principal and others respect him highly. Tongshin is assigned Hostel 7. When S opens the hostel gate, a kid attacks him. They fight, and Tongshin easily defeats the kid. All kids cheer for Tongshin. The defeated kid respectfully tells Tongshin that there's a tradition in the hostel. A traditional kid fights the new kid, and if the new kid wins, he becomes the big boss of the hostel. Since Tongshin wins, all kids bow and call him the big boss. Then, a new girl named Jiwoo arrives. According to tradition, Tongshin attacks her. This girl has a spirit soul of rapid, and she is extremely powerful. During the fight, both seem equally matched, but eventually the girl defeats Tang San, and she is declared the new big boss of Hostel 7. Her name is Jiwoo. There is no separate hostel for girls and boys here because all the students are children. Hence, everyone lives together. Everyone starts asking each other about their spirit soul powers, and when Tang San tells them about his power, all the kids are shocked. Soon after, a teacher comes and gives Tongshin his blanket. All the students in Hostel 7 are working students, meaning they do part-time jobs to pay for their tuition. The teacher then takes Tang San and Jiwoo to their rooms. But Jiwoo doesn't have a blanket of her own, so she asks Time to combine their beds and sleep together. Everyone is shocked, and Tongshin nervously asks, how can a boy and girl sleep on the same bed? To this, Jiwoo replies, if I, a girl, am not uncomfortable, then why are you, a boy, bothered? She attacks the bed, combines it, and they both go to sleep. The next day, all the children go to the mess to eat. Jiwoo was told to eat on the upper floor, but she learns that the upper floor is reserved for rich kids, and the poor are not allowed there. The rich kids mock the poor ones. All the Hostel 7 students feel hurt and decide to eat on the lower floor. Just then, Grandmaster arrives. He is Tongshin's teacher. Grandmaster asks Time to join him on the upper floor because he wants to talk. But Time prefers to stay with his friends and says he'll come after eating. When his friends find out who Grandmaster is, they're surprised. Everyone knows Grandmaster is stuck at rank 29 and can't advance. Some even mock him. Tongshin gets angry and warns them not to disrespect his teacher again. Then, Tongshin meets Grandmaster, who asks him to show his second spirit soul, which turns out to be a hammer. Grandmaster is impressed but curious. How could a blacksmith's son have such talent? Still, he calls it a great match since a blacksmith is best suited to have a hammer spirit soul. Grandmaster tells Tongshin to add a spirit ring to his hammer spirit soul. Tongshin is shocked, as his father had warned him not to do that. When he asks why, Grandmaster replies, you'll understand when the time is right. Grandmaster wants to train Tang San and turn him into a spirit master. But for that, he must increase his rank from 10 to 11, which requires a spirit ring from a beast at least 20 years old. So they head to a special forest. Along the way, Grandmaster gives him knowledge about his blue-silver grass spirit soul. Back at the hostel, Jiwoo realizes Tang San lost to her on purpose and didn't use his full abilities. She blocks his way and challenges him to a fight. During the battle, a romantic tension builds. Just then, a lady teacher catches them fighting and misunderstands the situation. Jiwoo cheekily pushes the teacher and runs off. The next day, Grandmaster and Time head to the forest. Grandmaster gives Time a belt that can store items. Time is excited to use it for hiding weapons. They reach the forest entrance, where only authorized people are allowed. Grandmaster's status lets them in. Inside, they spot many beasts, including one that looks suitable but is too young. Then they find a radish-eating beast, and Grandmaster feeds it to activate its power. Suddenly, a giant snake-type beast, over 100 years old, attacks them. It's too strong for Grandmaster to defeat, so they try to run, but it chases them. Tang San decides to sneak behind and uses his hidden weapon to stab the beast in the mouth, killing it. Grandmaster sees it and assumes it was luck. He tells Time to absorb the beast's energy to get the spirit ring. Time is scared, thinking the snake's energy might destroy his blue-silver grass soul. But Grandmaster reassures him it'll make it stronger. Time meditates, absorbs the energy, and gains a spirit ring. Morning comes, and Time finds Grandmaster unconscious, poisoned by the snake. Time uses his blacksmith skills and his spirit soul to extract the poison. Eventually, Grandmaster regains consciousness. He tells Time to go back to school and show his new spirit ring. They return, and Grandmaster gives him a book of his research for future help. He also tells Time to go to the Spirit Hall Academy to register and get monthly support based on his talent. This way, he won't have to work part-time anymore. Meanwhile, Hostel 7 students and the rich kids clash on the playground. They agree to a match. Each side will send one fighter, and the losing team must acknowledge the other as superior. Jaiwo sends a boy with a spiritual line soul, but he starts losing. The rich kids mock Jaiwo, calling her a rabbit. Just then, Tang San arrives. Jaiwo happily tells him everything. Time secretly throws pebbles to distract the rich kid, allowing Hostel 7's boy to win. The rich kids get angry and send their strongest fighter. Time Seong steps up and defeats him without even using his spirit soul, humiliating him. The rich kid attacks with full power, but Time counters with his spirit ring and paralyzes him. Forced to admit defeat, the rich kids accept Hostel 7 as the victors. Everyone is amazed when Time reveals his soul power rank is that of a ranger. Time then heads to Spirit Hall Academy as instructed, where he runs into some people from his village.